We opened the museum on Memorial Day 2001. This used to be the Town of Haddam firehouse. It opened in 1930 as a firehouse, and we requested, when they built a new firehouse up here on the hill, we requested this building for the museum from the then first selectman, and they gave us permission to use this as a museum.
And the way it got started is one of our members did a speech on all the guys that died in the wars from Haddam. And some of the families were giving him stuff, you know, showing the pictures and stuff like that, and they said that he could keep them. So what happened is we made a display that hangs down at the town hall in Haddam here.
And through volunteers, everything in here is volunteer. All the work, everything's all done by volunteers. So we opened on Memorial Day 2001. We have an active committee of probably 12 to 15 people. We have an awful lot of volunteers, a lot of volunteers.
You know, this is all done by volunteers. It doesn't cost the town. The town supports us monetarily with what we need, which is it's fairly a small amount. But everything we do down here, we do with volunteers. This is the oldest thing that we have. This is from the War of 1812. And this is the oldest item that we have in the museum. And it goes all the way up to present time. We have a lot of uniforms, especially from World War II. We've got quite a few of those uniforms. In World War I, we've got a couple of uniforms too.
These posters that you see around are the same posters that were part of the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II that were on display down in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian Institute. We have soda cans from Desert Storm. We have items going back to, the oldest one, like I say, is the War of 1812. We got items from the Korean War, Vietnam War, World War I, World War II. The bulk of the items in here are representative of World War II.
It's just a lot of different things that we have. Some of the more unique stuff is that, and the fact that we got them is they came out of the dump. We've got, I think, 3 rifles that came out of the dump. We've got several uniforms that came out of the dump. We have a World War II stretcher, which is in excellent condition, that was on its way to the dump. So it's amazing what, you know, people are throwing out and not knowing that, you know, okay, we will take anything.
But we'll get items probably a couple times a month. We'll have items donated to us. To me, the most important, most interesting items that are in here would be those 52 crosses that you see in back of us. Those crosses are engraved with the names of the 52 residents from the town of Haddam, which, excuse me, to me is why this museum is here, is to help remember them. If you go out in the front there's gray bricks with the names of 52 residents from the town of Haddam that have been killed in the various wars, from the Revolutionary War through the Civil War. They're not a fundraiser, they're just so family can buy a brick, put it out there, and, you know, remember their families. And there's 400 and some odd bricks out there, I believe. A lot of family artifacts from those families are part of this museum. As you see, everything in here has been donated from mainly families from town, but not necessarily everybody's from town. But it's significant in that in Memorial Day, this is the focal point for the Memorial Day Parade and the Memorial Day service. We have quite a bit of involvement that people don't really see. We take care of the Memorial Day Parade. We change the 500 grave flags every year. We take care of all the flags in town. We take care of the green. We do a lot of things that people don't see. Well, we have the 3rd grade, the Haddam Elementary School's 3rd grade class comes in every year around Veterans Day. We've had people, we just had a tour group come in from, they were handicapped children that were here the last couple of weeks ago that came through. And mainly we've had youth groups, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts.
We've had the students from the elementary school come over every year. And that's pretty good because the kids are really good. We thought that maybe that they would be too young, but it really works out well, and the kids are very interested. Seniors come in here, some fairly large groups of senior citizens that come through the uniform, through the museum here. And Memorial Day is probably our biggest day because we have the whole ceremony out here in front of the museum. And usually that's when everybody comes into the museum after the parade. We have a lot of people that day. So there's all different kinds of people. We've had, and we will open for even one person. We've had some veterans that wanted to come in just by themselves, and we've just opened the door and let them walk around by themselves because it's very emotional for them. So they just want to be by themselves. So,
You know, that's a good question. You know, I would think that people would what they'd be taking away is the idea of remembrance, of knowing these people, of just continuing to be aware of our military men and women that are serving today.
I think the biggest thing they can take away is the sacrifice that the people have made. You know, without remembrance, there is no sacrifice.
Now, it's important to visit the museum basically for the same reasons, you know, to remember. That's why we have Memorial Day, that's why we have Veterans Day, so we can remember these individuals that have given their lives, they've sacrificed their families, and as today, you know, people are serving all the time, and we have to remember that.
It shows you what it took to have freedom and the amount of lives that were lost, you know, and the sacrifices that not only that the veterans make and the people that lost their lives, but their families too. I mean, you know, and I think we need to put that back in the public eye of what it takes to maintain your freedom and what the sacrifices that people are making. So
we hope that somebody will come after us to continue to do what we do and do it the way we do it. We don't get involved in the politics, we don't get involved in anything to do with politics, and we just wanted that to continue forward. And believing that is probably our biggest concern right now, is what is going to become of the museum in the future. You know, we have a bunch of young people on the committee now that feel and think is the way we do, but whether or not they continue that, I don't know. But that is our main concern. What are we going to do with the museum?
We'd like to see, you know, we want it to continue, and we need to expand. That's our problem right now. We've got a lot of stuff that we don't have on display, and we just need a little bit more room. So we're hoping to get one of the buildings next door here, part of it, at some point in the future, and hopefully that'll occur because we've got a lot of posters and stuff that we'd like to hang up and more stuff that we need to display. So
if you've walked around here, as you can see, this place is full. I mean, it's full to the limit. We've requested probably for the last 10 years that we get permission to use the two-bay garage over there so we can expand. We have no room for expansion, none whatsoever. The museum is free. We open for one person, we'll open for 100 people, it doesn't matter. Well, there's a list of names on the front door, and they could call anybody's name that's on that list, or they could call the town hall and get the list of names, or they can contact me directly, and we'll open for anybody at any time.
And we've even opened up for even just one person. You know, like I say, sometimes they want to come down, they want to be by themselves, so we're pretty flexible, really flexible on letting people come in. So.